This Tuesday, January 6th, NBA Betting Picks edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's U.S.-based and available in 40 states. Head to cut.com, that's KUTT.com, and use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app now or visit HOFBets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. And we're also brought to you by the Super Bowl 58 Props Contest. Don't forget to enter. Super Bowl Props Contest is a chance to win $1,000. Enter today for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/SB58 or in the SGPN app. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Tuesday, February the 6th, currently 11:10 on the East Coast. Here to get into our NBA betting picks for the Tuesday night card in the association. And joining me here on this Tuesday episode, you guys know him as a superstar of the show. It's the villain himself, Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, what's going on, my man? How you doing this Tuesday morning?
Nothing much, man. It's been a long weekend. It's been a long weekend here on Tuesday. Normally on Monday, had some technical difficulties, couldn't make it. Here back on Tuesday, and over the course of the weekend, we had one Donovan Mitchell, who came out and said, "Oh, I was backpedaling this weekend, guys. I was backpedaling. I didn't like how I was backing up." Talking about the altercation he had in the game. Who was it?
Yeah.
What was it?
I
What
just
was
remember
it?
watching
Just in the Spurs game?
Was it the Spurs game? Oh my God, who did they just play?
It was just somebody, and Donovan Mitchell tweeted out, and he was like, "I don't like how I'm backpedaling, how I'm backing up in this video. I should have stood on business a little bit more." Shout out to Donovan Mitchell. He knew I was coming for him, and it was the
Zach Collins, right?
Yeah, it was Zach Collins. And he was like, "Hey, I ain't like how I backed up." Yep. That's how at least he watches film. That's all I got to say. At least he watches film and he sees where he went wrong on film. Some people will watch the film and not understand where they went wrong. Donovan said, "You know what? I was the aggressor. I backed up. I didn't like that. It looked weird. And so for that, I apologize." And you know what? Shout out to Donovan for being man enough to say for the people, I was backing up there. I was backing up. I ain't want no smoke with Zach Collins in that moment. So shout out to you, Donovan Mitchell.
We're not going to put him on the team on dudes who ain't trying to fight for real. So,
hey man, he at least acknowledged it. He acknowledged it on his own.
Last night, we're gonna recap our picks from yesterday on the pod. We had a pretty good day between myself and Scott. I know Scott stepped in for you yesterday. Scott swept his picks. I ended up losing my lock, but I did cash my dog. I gave out Trae Young and Harden to record 10 assists each. That one got to the window around plus 240-ish. Scott had locked up Evan Mobley prop. I think it was points and rebounds to go over, and then he had Valanciunas 12 plus rebounds last night against the Toronto Raptors and got to the window as well. So pretty good start to the week for the show. Hopefully we can keep that rolling all of this week. Terrell, anything else that stood out to you maybe from the Monday card yesterday that you want to get off your chest?
Oh, man. I mean, the Utah Jazz.
You need to get that slogan trademarked.
They're really good. So we had that over the course of the weekend. We talk about what happened yesterday, and the Kings absolutely got dominated by the Cavs. Completely got dominated by the Cavs. I was on Cavs -5. It was a really bad spot for that was the 7th road trip for the Kings.
Yeah, I mentioned that on the pod yesterday. It was their 7th straight road game.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad spot for the Kings. Just that amount of road games. It just felt like the Cavaliers were going to dominate that game. So I was on the Cavs, and I thought the Cavs would get it done. And then I had that Clippers and Hawks over, and that was able to cash for me. You didn't even sweat that, to me. I was 149 points by the Clippers in the first quarter, and then you had the Hawks still put up 144. I mean, I don't even know what we're talking about here with this Clippers defense, but they're still allowing 144 points relatively easy. So shout out to the Clippers and the Hawks, and shout out to the Cavs. That was my money for yesterday.
Yeah, pretty good day. I should have. I was going between the Lakers team total over yesterday and the over in the Dallas and the Philly game, and I picked wrong when I gave out the Mavs and the Sixers to go over. But Sixers, they just had a really bad shooting night through three quarters. But hey, we flipped the page here. Hopefully, we can find some more winners for the Tuesday cards. I think it's a 7-game schedule here tonight in the association on Tuesday night here, Terrell. So let's just dive right into it, my man. Let's get into the first game here. On the schedule, we got my Houston Rockets. They are in Indiana to take on the Pacers in this game. Completely forgot to put the spread for this game, but the Pacers are a 7.5-point favorite right now as it stands with a total of 242.5 in this game. Looking at the injury report for this game for the Houston Rockets, let's see here. So obviously Steven Adams, the trade pending is already done for the season. So no Tari Eason. Fred VanVleet is going to be out for this game as well for the Rockets. He has a left abductor strain. For the Indiana Pacers, a lot of 3 questionable tags here, or I should say 2. Tyrese Halliburton is questionable today, and then Jalen Smith is also questionable, and then everybody else is on a 2-way deal with the G League. So Hallie and Jalen Smith questionable for the Pacers here, Terrell. So let's start with the side here, minus 7.5 in favor of the home team, the Pacers, hosting the Houston Rockets. What are you thinking?
I mean, so we clearly know my issue here with this game. My issue here with this game is the fact that Houston is one side. So I automatically have crossed one side out of what I'm interested in betting because I'm not betting this Houston team right now. I'm actually completely over them. And just at where they're at in this point in the season, especially pre-All-Star break, that kind of seems like a part of Ime Udoka where his teams just don't all the way gel pre-All-Star break. So absolutely destroyed by that Minnesota Timberwolves team, as you talked about last time out. 7.5-point dogs didn't even come close covering in that one. Whereas last time out, this Indiana team got the layup in the Charlotte Hornets. You ain't gotta, you see the Charlotte Hornets come to town, and you know what? Just send a jeweler down to the hotel, and they're distracted. They're completely distracted. Did you see the video? The video of the Charlotte Hornets team hitting their jeweler up?
I did not.
So there's a video of Braun talking about how, young guys be all misconstrued. They be talking about the money, the materialistic things, the jewelry, all that. It's not really important. What's important is winning basketball games. And then somebody quotes that tweet with a video, and it's literally a jeweler hype video of Charlotte Hornets, and he's basically showing them all this jewelry in the hotel room. Nothing about basketball is being talked about at all. And it's just the Charlotte Hornets looking at jewelry. And it's like, oh man, if that was ever a video to explain how this team is right now, that's really what it is. They just love the spotlight, but they're not actually trying to win games. And so they got an easy dub against that Charlotte Hornets team. And I think this is something relatively similar, especially if Hallie is able to play in this one. I know he's on a minutes restriction, but I really have concerns about the Houston defense in this game and what they're going to be able to do. Gave up 135 to they scored. I'm sorry, they scored 135 against Toronto, scored 135 against the Lakers, and then didn't score 99, couldn't score 99 against 100, couldn't score 100 against New Orleans, couldn't score 100 against Minnesota, barely got to 100 against Brooklyn. It seems like when they play any decent quality defense, they're kind of struggling in scoring, but they've been able to score on the Lakers. They scored on the Raptors. So I'm not taking Houston.
Okay.
I don't know if Indiana's defense is good enough for me to win by margin. And so I really don't want to be on Indiana and lay this amount of points with a team that I just don't know if they're that good defensively to win by margin. But I know I don't want Houston. So I feel like the over is the only thing that I could feel myself close to betting in this game. And that's just saying that Indiana's defense is pretty bad, and Houston's been able to put up points against subpar defenses.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know. I just can't trust Indiana to lay this big of a number, knowing defensively they fold like relatively easily.
Yeah, I kind of share the same sentiments as you, Zach. Really couldn't bring myself to a side because you talk about with the Rockets, they haven't been very good on the road, right? We talked about this all season long on the pod so far that they're 5-17 straight up, 8-13-1 against the spread in those road games. Meanwhile, the Pacers as a home favorite this season, they are 9-6 straight up, but just 7-1 against the spread, 10-5 towards the over. And if you take a look at the Rockets, they've only covered what I think 2 games in their last 10 road games thus far, or at least up to this point. So I think I was more interested in player props in this game here. We'll get to that here in a second. But yeah, I think for me, I agree with you about the over in this game as well. I think we'll definitely see some pace in this game, especially if Halliburton does play in this game. But it's also a question if Hallie does end up playing in this game and for how many minutes he does end up playing, because he's still kind of on that minutes restriction for the Indiana Pacers. So lean towards the over. Just couldn't bring myself to a side either here. Any player props you're looking at here in this game, Terrell?
If I lean over, I guess I need to just start taking some points props here. And Pascal Siakam over 21.5. I'm sorry, over 21.5 feels decent with the fact that I just don't expect any much rim protection from the interior. Alfred Şengün over 22.5. Seems pretty chalk, but that again, I don't think that there's any rim protection. You look at both of these two teams; they're struggling guarding inside the paint over the past 5 games, and I think that that's an area that both of these two teams could attack today. Probably be on the assist tip heavy, and get down on Halliburton's at 6.5 assists, and I get it, but for how I expect the pace, what's the Rockets' pace in this game? How I expect the pace to go and how I expect the scoring to go in the short minutes that Halliburton is in the game, I think this is a game you can bet Halliburton.
Rockets are number 2 in pace over the last 5 games.
Yeah, so both of these two teams are gonna fly in pace. Indiana is 10 over the past 5 games. They're both gonna try to run up and down. I expect to see really bad defenses, a lot quicker tempo, a lot of shots getting up. Even in the short 22 minutes that Halliburton's gonna be in the game, I expect to see a lot of shots up, and I think that he'll have an impact on that. So I can actually play a Halliburton prop today just because I think that Houston's defense is gonna crack down.
You mentioned Şengün in this game. I do like his points to go over if you want to take his rebounds in this game here as well. These two teams did match up in Houston back in December. Pacers did with that game 123-117. Şengün in that game had 30 points, 15 rebounds for the Rockets. Curious to see who will be that 6 or the guy that starts in place of Fred VanVleet tonight for the Rockets. But I think this could be a big Şengün game here tonight for the Rockets. Jalen Green was on a stretch of playing some great basketball and scoring the basketball, but he's kind of fell off over the last 2 games. 0 of 9 from 3-point land, just 10 of 29 in the last 2 games, to combine 22 points over the last 2 games as well. So maybe he bounces back here tonight, but I do like Şengün in this game big time. Anything else for this game here, bro?
No, I'm good.
All right, before we get over to the next game on the schedule, let me tell everyone about our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Looking for a super offer for Super Bowl 58? DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. New customers can bet on the big game and turn $5 into $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SGP. New customers can bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 58 with code SGP. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resorts in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. And we're also brought to you by our good friends over on Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, and college football. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. You can win 100x with some spicy plays. Stay tuned at the end of the episode. Terrell and I, we're going to put together our Underdog Fantasy entry for the Tuesday night card so you can watch along, make your own picks, and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. And when you sign in with promo code NBASGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit of up to $100. Again, that's Underdog Fantasy, but make sure you use that promo code NBASGPN. All right, Terrell, let's get over to the next game on the schedule here tonight. We got the Memphis Grizzlies. They are headed to New York City, to Madison Square Garden, to take on the Knicks in this game. Currently, as it stands, the Knicks are a 14.5-point home favorite here with a total of 213. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams here, let's start with the Memphis Grizzlies because it's a doozy, I'll say that much. So guys that are out, Zaire Williams, Marcus Smart, John Morant, Jake LaRivia, Brandon Clark, Desmond Bane. Guys that are doubtful, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Xavier Tillman. Guys that are questionable, Vince Williams Jr. and John Conchar and Santi Aldama. I should probably just go see who the projected starting lineup is for the Memphis Grizzlies. That might just make it easier. But for the New York Knicks, two guys that are going to be out for this game. OG Anunoby, he continues to deal with the right elbow inflammation. And then Quentin Grimes is also out for this game for the New York Knicks with a right knee sprain. So let's start with the side here, minus 14.5 as it currently stands for the New York Knicks hosting the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, so now it's starting to really fall apart for the Memphis Grizzlies here, where the injuries are just starting to be too much. And it was cool when we were just missing our starters and we had second and third stringers playing and we was able to handle that and make it through that. Then we started losing those second and third stringers. Now we got third and fourth stringers. We got G League people. Scottie Pippen Jr. is coming up from the G League and playing. You got, I don't even know who the center is. I've never even seen his name before. There's a center that was playing the other night, and I had never seen his name before. So much so that I can't even tell you his name right now.
Trey Jameson. And I had to look that up.
You said what?
Trey Jameson, I think is his name.
Is this Antoine? Oh no, it's not even spelled like Antoine Jameson. That's what it was. Because I heard Jameson, and I'm like, oh, is this like kin to Antoine Jameson? Like this might be somebody I didn't even realize. No, it's not him. He spells it different. So it's some random guy from UAB. that I don't even know. And I have to go and I have to try to pry Kobe from his wife and his, I don't know if Kobe had the baby or not. He might have had the baby. I don't know if they've had the baby, but baby might be on the way. Either way, Kobe and his child. I'd have to pull Kobe from his child to ask him, who is Trey Jameson? Because I have no idea who this guy is. And he's playing meaningful minutes in a basketball game in February for an NBA team. So unfortunately, I think it's all falling off for the Memphis Grizzlies. And at this point, we just need to go ahead and wait for them to get some of their second and third stringers back where this team's actually a dog instead of just a land of opportunity for a bunch of guys who want to go out there and put an NBA jersey on before they tend to a life of grocery bagging after that. So you know what? I'm all over the New York Knicks here. I'm not even going to think about it. I know it's a large number, but somehow, some way, this team let a Boston Celtics team cover 20 that couldn't even cover 15.5 at home against the Lakers and lost outright. So I don't want to bet on that Memphis team right now. Give me the Knicks, 14.5, easy.
Yeah, Knicks, I think they should roll here as well. I'm not going to, repeat everything that Terrell just put eloquently. I can't follow that up. But, yeah, I'm with the Knicks here as well. And they're also that, like you mentioned, they're coming off that game against the Lakers where they lost on Saturday night. So I like them to bounce back here, just take care of business against a Grizzlies team that, again, has third, fourth string G League guys out there. So next for both of us here, total, the way that I was looking at it here, Terrell, is probably a Grizzlies team total under just because how great the Knicks defense has been. I know OG Anunoby's not playing, but they still have dogs on this Knicks side that play defense, guys like DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, guys coming off of the bench. Jalen Brunson, we can play some defense as well. So Isaiah Hartenstein, controlling the paint for them as well. Precious Achiuwa is a great rebounding asset for this team as well. So that's the way I was looking at a total in this game. You have any thoughts on the total?
Yeah, Matt, I want to play a quick game. And let's talk about that'll tell you where I feel about this total. Here are the starters for Memphis last game. Jacob Gilyard. Do you know what school he went to?
I couldn't even guess.
See, I wouldn't expect you to know because you're over there in Houston. Richmond, A10 basketball. Shout out to the A10 Richmond. I knew that, but that's just because I'm a VA guy. That if I wasn't from VA, I wouldn't have known that. So not gonna Luke Kennard, we know. Okay,
Yeah.
not gonna give. We talked about we didn't know who Jameson was.
Yeah.
Do you know where David Roddy went to school?
Oh, this is like right at the tip of my tongue because I
I
do
know,
remember
I know.
watching
It's
him.
a lot of people. It's a lot of people that remember David Roddy, but they don't remember. They remember David Roddy. Yep,
Colorado
yep.
or
The
Colorado State?
States.
Yeah.
Yep. Colorado State.
Yeah.
Great basketball player at Colorado State. Gigi Jackson. I feel like you should know Gigi. You should know Gigi.
Gigi Jackson. See, this one rings a bell as well, but right now I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
All right. Tosan Eve. I don't want to mess his name up, but I actually do kind of remember this guy. No, I don't. Yes, I do. I feel is this who I'm thinking it was that played for Princeton? Now I got to go back and look. Tosan Ivu Mowan.
Oh no! So this is a guy that we were talking about this in our baseball chat, and Mal was like, "There's a Newcastle player where Malcolm lives, co-host of the Premier League podcast, and he was like, there's a NBA or a guy from his part of town there that's going to be on an
From
NBA
where
roster.
Malcolm is from?
Yes, Newcastle upon Tyne. Look it up, or look up the player's name.
Oh my gosh, he's from where Malcolm's from.
So
do we expect this team to score points today?
God, I couldn't. This is so funny. No.
Do we expect this team to score points today? Like, really? Like, seriously, if this is the roster that they're rolling out against the Knicks, do we really expect them to score? Like, really? No. No, not at all. Team total under. That might be a lock for the day.
It's at 98.5 for this game. For the Memphis Grizzlies, 98.5 is a team total.
98.5. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry.
So they scored only. I mean, if they only scored 91 against Boston, that just kind of tells you.
Bro, they're not getting to 100.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like these are guys, they're getting their first taste of NBA action like now.
This is gonna be like 110 to like 92.
How many threes did Gilliard shoot today? Probably somewhere around 7 to 10.
Let's see what
he probably shoots around 7 to 10 threes. He had 7 and 9. Yeah, he's gonna shoot like 7 to 10 threes.
Player props, have anything you're looking at here, Terrell?
Oh man. Can't believe he's from where Malcolm's from, and that Malcolm was on this tip before we were. It's kind of frustrating me. Player props here. I mean, if you want to take your stab at a single over on the Memphis side, you can do it. I'm just gonna go ahead and fade all that. Give me Hartstein.
Rebounds.
Where's he at? Yeah, he should really dominate the boards today.
11.5.
Yeah. What resistance does he have on the boards?
I think the only competition, I guess he can say, would be Josh Hart, because Josh Hart has been rebounding the basketball extremely well.
Josh Hart rebounds is at 9.5. That's insane.
Yeah, he's had 4 straight games of double-digit rebounds. I was going to mention Josh Hart rebounds and assists, 13.5. He's cashed that in 4 straight games.
Okay.
But again, I like it, but again, it's concerning that this could turn into a blowout, and then you have all the starters sitting.
Yep,
that's the only caveat.
Yeah, that's really the only negative, because I think this is a blowout.
Did you see the rebounding numbers for the Knicks against the Pacers? They had 3 different starters that had at least 12 rebounds. Josh Hart had 12, Precious Achiuwa had 16, and Isaiah Hartenstein had 19 against the Pacers.
That's what this game score is about to look like against the Grizzlies. Like and you know what? I need to pick a top point scorer on the Grizzlies, because it would just be, is it GG? Somebody's gonna go crazy in Madison Square Garden today, and it's gonna be completely random. It might be GG.
I was gonna say Vince Williams Jr. plays, but I don't think that's random. I think people are starting to catch on who he is.
Yeah, no. It's either because I think Gigi's had some big moments already, but I don't think people are out there just betting Gigi. Maybe it is Jacob Gilyard and the fact that he's going to shoot 23, so you might get 5 of them to go in.
All right. Anything else for this game, Terrell?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Oh yeah, David Roddy. I like David Roddy though. David Roddy was a good player at Colorado State.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Before we get over to the next game on the schedule, let me tell everyone about the Super Bowl 58 contest, props contest that's happening over on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's $1,000, winner takes all. It's free to enter. Pick 58 props for Super Bowl 58. All you got to do to enter is go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/SB58 or go to the link in the SGPN app. And we're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. Peer-to-peer social betting is a new and better way to bet. Bet directly against your friends or other users on sports, politics, pop culture, and other events with verifiable outcomes. And a ton of fun social features that give it a feel of a betting social network. Look, Cut even offers lower VIG, and you can also create your own bets as well. You don't have to pay the book that VIG. You create your own bets over on Cut, and you could play against your friends, like I mentioned. And Cut even handles the payment side of things, so you never have to chase anyone down to get the money that you did win over on Cut. They have some great social features, like I mentioned, group chats, betting leaderboards, head-to-head history, user profiles, fan groups, and much more. And plus, they also have a reward system. You get cash back every single time you bet against your friends or other users. Almost like using a credit card to get those cash back. You could use, cash back, like you mentioned, over on Cut. Cut also allows you to list any kind of bet. So this is perfect for those Super Bowl parties you guys are going to have this weekend. You can create your own prop bets, but also they have to be verifiable incomes or verifiable outcomes before you make that income over on Cut. Cut is the peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states, like I mentioned. So head to cut.com, that's KUTT.com. But make sure you use that promo code SGPN. You'll get a deposit bonus of 10% by using that promo code SGP. And we're also brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater near. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you're going to have. Their app is so easy to use, and it's a lot of fun to use as well. They have great flash deals, like I mentioned. They all do have last-minute tickets available, and it's easy to find and buy tickets for every type of event in your area. The best thing that I love about their app is you actually get images of your seat view before you actually buy the ticket, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive at that specific venue. You can buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you're all set to go, and the tickets are sent directly to your phone. So you never have to dig through your email or wait for them in the mailbox. They're sent directly to your phone. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. So if you find tickets in the same section and row for less at any other venue, they're going to create 110% of the difference. That's how confident they are in their prices. So all you got to do is download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Again, terms apply. Create an account, redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, Terrell, let's keep it rolling here, my man. Next game on the schedule here, we're going to go over to the state of Florida. 2 Florida teams. We got Orlando Magic. They are in South Beach to take on the Miami Heat. Miami Heat are currently laying 2.5 points here against the Orlando Magic with a total of 212 in this game. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, start here with the Orlando Magic. Pretty clean injury report. Everybody is a go in this game for the Orlando Magic. For the Miami Heat, Tyler Hero is probable for this game. He's been dealing with a migraine and headaches, and also Duncan Robinson is questionable for this game. He is in concussion protocol for the Miami Heat. So probable for Hero, questionable for Duncan Robinson. Heat laying 2.5 points here, Terrell, against Orlando. What are you thinking about this game? Oh, you're on mute.
There we go. There we go. All right. So first things first here, when I'm looking at these two teams, I'm looking at the under at very first glance, and the fact that the Miami Heat can't score and Orlando doesn't look to score. They're not looking to go out here and run the score up on teams and blow teams out every single night. They both run relatively slow pace. Miami significantly slower, and I think that they'll dominate the terms of pace here. But you look at what these two defenses are doing. These are two of the top 5 defenses over the past 3 games and really over the course of the entire season. Orlando second in opponents' points per game past 3, 101 points per game. Miami is third at 103.7 points per game. You look at Miami inept to score 106.7 points per game in the past 3. Orlando's at 109. They're both really struggling to get to 100 points here. I think that this is going to be a physical, more defensive game where the Orlando Magic are showing that, hey, defense travels. We're able to play on the road, and you have a Miami Heat team who is in the favored spot, and that never really does well for them. So I think that Miami Heat are going to struggle to score today, and so clearly, I'm taking the Orlando as a dog, Fate in Miami at home as a favorite. That's a under 50%, 44% trend right there. I'm not fading that. So Orlando +3 with the under 212.5. That is probably my favorite play here.
Yeah, I can't believe this is already the 4th matchup between these two teams this season. The under is 2-1 in those games, but then with an average score of combined score, I should say, of only 202 points being scored. One game did go over. That was back in December, where they put up 221 points in Orlando. But after that, 99 to 96 in January. About 10 days later, they played again in Orlando, 105-87. So, like Terrell mentioned, these head-to-head meetings between these two teams tend to be slower paced, lower scoring games, and that's why the total right now is sitting at 212. So 100% agree on the over there. And you mentioned, right, the rule. If Miami Heat are favored, you look the other way. But I do like Orlando in the first half here as well. I do like them in the full game here as well. Miami's just, it's typical Miami. They try to get through the season and they get into the playoffs some way, somehow, and then they kind of flip the switch there. But yeah, not the most exciting game here, but I agree with you about the under in this game here as well. Player props, what are you looking at, if anything?
Okay. Let's see here. I saw somebody in the chat talking about Suggs over 1.5 steals. I like that play. So that's been a pretty good play to back all year.
Yeah, 100%.
Get plus money at sometimes too. So shout out Jalen Suggs. I think I've sworn off of Wendell Carter Jr. So I don't like either of the bigs in this matchup. I played him the other day, and I thought it was a shoe-in matchup for him, and he didn't do anything. It was really depressing. All right. I expect a defensive game. I'm probably gonna. I don't really have anything. I don't have anything. I thought I did. I thought I did, but I really don't. I mean, I could always go for a Hawkeyes points prop. Like, that's always a go. But really, that Suggs steal prop is probably the best thing that I'm seeing on the board for this game that I'm interested in, at least right now, because I think that I don't think that it's going to be much scoring. And I really don't think, I mean, the rebounds are probably around there. I could be tempted by maybe a Ben Carroll rebounds or a Franz Wagner over 4.5 rebounds, just because I think that they're going to really try to take Bam Adebayo outside of the game. Let me see how Wagner's done in the matchups before then. I could sell myself on a Wagner 4.5 rebounds. But other than that, I really don't expect to see a good looking game. Like, I think this is going to be an ugly game. So maybe I need to get down on the turnover props and the steal props in this one rather than looking for more offensive stats, because I really think this is going to be an ugly looking game. An ugly looking game where the defenses show out a little bit more in this one. Hence why I'm on the under 212.
Yeah. Jalen Suggs, you mentioned it there that he's had at least 2 steals in 5 straight games for the Orlando Magic. Just kind of going back and looking at what he's done against Miami this season. So he's only recorded 1 steal in 3 games, but he's had 1 block, 3 blocks, and then 1 steal. So if you want to, I guess, kind of take the insurance of taking steals and blocks over 1.5, that's at -135. But if you want to just want the plus odds, like the chat was talking about, like Terrell mentioned as well, over 1.5 steals for Jalen Suggs is sitting at +130 in this game. So I think that that's a good look there as well. Yeah, I didn't have any other. I didn't have any props in this game here either for a Magic and Heat. So we can move on to the next game on the schedule. That's going to be the Dallas Mavericks. They are headed to Brooklyn to take on the Nets in this game. The Mavericks are currently sitting as a 2.5 point road favorite here with a total of 236.5. And looking at the injury report, well, we don't have one yet submitted for either team because both teams did play last night. So they're both on a back-to-back situation here. Dallas got the victory yesterday against the Philadelphia 76ers. And then Brooklyn yesterday, who did they play yesterday? Brooklyn they were hosting the Golden State Warriors. They took a loss in that game by 11 points. So they do get that extra time to submit those injury reports. But let me see on another site here if I can find anything for this.
Well, while you do that, I can tell you right now that Dallas on back-to-backs this season is 5-3 ATS. You look at the Brooklyn Nets, and they are 2-3-1 ATS on the back-to-back this season.
I don't see anything as far as Kyrie or even Luka on any type of news here. So I'm assuming both guys will play. Just want to take a look at how many minutes those guys played last night. So we have Luka played 36, Kyrie played 35. Yeah, so not much there. Is this the first game back for Kyrie in Brooklyn?
Is it? Wait, is it? No way.
Maybe.
Well, they only play once a year, so it actually could be.
Let's see.
Yeah. This might. I think this actually.
Yeah, it is.
So does Kyrie get a tribute video?
I don't think.
I mean, I think it's a legit question. Does Kyrie get a tribute video?
Did you see the one about KD? Somebody's like, is the Nets going to do a tribute video for Kevin Durant? And Kevin Durant was like, don't waste your time with that. There's no need for a tribute video.
No, it's not. But I mean, the fact that it was even a question, I guess everybody gets tribute videos nowadays. I just didn't know. Without Kyrie, I mean, if Kyrie was healthy there that season, then they might have won a championship. So I guess that's worthy of a tribute video.
Maybe. That was the season where KD's toe was touching the 3-point line, and then Harden left with an injury, and Kyrie was gone with the injury as well. So, yeah, this is the first time for Kyrie back.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. I kind of want to bet Brooklyn, but I don't want to bet Brooklyn.
Do you trust the Mavs on the road is the question.
I don't trust
they've been pretty good.
I don't trust them. I really want to trust the team with the better defense. Brooklyn clearly far away has the better defense here.
Yeah.
But
Mavericks
Brooklyn
this
can't
season,
score.
See, this is what Mavericks this season as an away favorite, 9-2, straight up 9-2 against the spread.
As a road favorite?
As a road favorite.
Oh, well, that's kind of hard.
But like you mentioned, like, do we trust their defense?
Yeah,
I think Sixers just had a bad shooting night last night.
And ultimately, that's what I think it is too. That's why I don't really want to bet this game, to be honest, because I can't trust Brooklyn to score. They're just going to score randomly. I can't trust them to score night in, night out, but I can't trust Dallas to score. Their defense is going to give up 100-something points. Like, look, yeah, okay, the 102 last night in what was effectively a bad shooting night. 129 to the Bucks, 121 to Minnesota. I really don't want to go past that Minnesota one. You gave up 121 to Minnesota, and I get a bunch of people are out, so I guess I'll give you a little bit of a pass there. But still, 121 to Minnesota is kind of crazy. You got the 129 to Orlando in a game that you won but didn't cover, 120 to Sacramento. Like, you're just giving out 120s to everybody.
Yeah.
And if you give this Brooklyn team 120, they're covering / winning this game. I really don't want to take Brooklyn now.
It feels like Brooklyn is the play, but I mean, like you mentioned, can you trust them to score?
What's going to fold? Is Brooklyn going to actually score points, or is Dallas going to find a way to be good defensively 2 games in a row?
There was a game that I'd bet. I think this was last Monday, I think, was where they played the Jazz and they went out and scored 147 points.
Yeah, I'm taking Brooklyn.
I think, yeah.
I'm taking Brooklyn. Brooklyn plus 2.5. I don't feel good about that play, but
this is an ugly card today.
Brooklyn team total over just sounds disgusting.
This is a national TV game as well. It's on TNT.
Dallas. All right. If Brooklyn's gonna win, it's because Dallas let them score. So Brooklyn team total over, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I think I think I like the over in this game more so. But you look at back-to-back situations like you were talking about, at least the spread. But Nets on back-to-backs this season, they're 4-2 to the over. Mavericks this season on back-to-back on the total 4-3-1. But they're getting up the points. I'll say that much. So I'll take the over in this game again. Don't love it. I think I will be on Kyrie props though in this game. But any player props you're looking at? Let me see if they have it listed.
I mean, as long as Kyrie's not being is the aggressor, then I think Kyrie is definitely going to get busy tonight. But how often has Kyrie been the aggressor when he's been playing with Luka? Not too often.
Yeah.
I say play Kyrie and wait for an injury report because Luka could very well be out, or Kyrie could be out.
Yeah.
Go to back-to-back.
When's your next?
That also makes me feel good because Denver's gonna shiest on this injury report. Yeah, I'm taking Brooklyn. I feel better about Brooklyn.
Yeah, and then they go to Madison Square Garden on what's today? Tuesday. So they play Thursday against the Knicks. That's where I think Luka will turn into. I mean, be Luka, do Luka things, and like Kyrie gets his tonight against Brooklyn. So
everybody's looking ahead to the Knicks game.
I mean, it's Madison Square Garden. Everybody loves playing there, right?
Luka gave the Knicks 60 before.
Yeah, see, there you go. And I think that might be a national TV game as well on TNT again. So maybe we see Dallas on back-to-back national TV games. But yeah, Kyrie's my favorite play. Lean towards the over. Anything else for this game?
I'm gonna get a Claxton rebounds prop. We almost.
That's a good.
We almost went past through there. Let me get a Claxton rebounds prop. He should dominate the board today, especially with no Lively. What's this? That is at 11.5 right now. I'm not worried. He can get 13, 14.
Let's see what he's done against the Mavericks. Last played him almost a year and a half ago in 2022. November 7, 2022, he had 14 rebounds in that game, 10 points and 14 rebounds, but hasn't played him since then. So, yeah, I think I do like that there as well. That's a good call. All right, Terrell, anything else for this game?
No, let's go.
All right, next game on the board, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are in Chicago to take on the Bulls. Bulls are currently catching 5 points as a home underdog. The total is set at 216.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Jalen Clark is going to be out for this game. For the Chicago Bulls, guys that are probable is Kobe White, Dallin Terry, and Torrey Craig, who's been out for a little bit. He is upgraded to probable. Questionable is Alex Caruso. He is dealing with a left abductor strain. And we know Zach LaVine is, I believe, done for the season for the Chicago Bulls and possibly played his last game for the Chicago Bulls. Also, Patrick Williams is going to be out for this game as well. Minnesota laying 5 points here on the road in Chicago here. Terrell, what are you thinking about the spread?
Can Chicago get up for one game at home? Because we know Memphis is one of the best defenses in the league. They've been really, really good on defense this entire year. But
Minnesota.
Minnesota. But is Minnesota struggling to score the basketball? Like, do they really? And that's what makes it nervous betting them laying points on the road, and why they're, as a favorite, they're really not even covering the spread that effectively, 19, 18, and 2. And it's because they have an inept ability to not be able to score the basketball. Like, it's like they go out there and they're actually trying to not score sometimes. And so, and maybe it's because they don't have to, because you have games like the previous game where you're only allowing 90 points. So you only need to put up 111. You only need to try to put up 111 and you're still winning by 21. Something in my gut's telling me to take Chicago here. Something telling me that this is going to be that day that Minnesota doesn't know how to score on the road. Give me a Minnesota team total under.
Okay.
I like Chicago plus 5.5, but give me Minnesota team total under. Something's just telling me this is going to be the day that Minnesota's not going to be able to score on the road. And that this Chicago defense, while they're not nothing to write home mom about, but they can match up pretty well, and they can have their moments. Caruso is still questionable.
Yeah, he's questionable for this game, and that's the hesitation that I do have.
Yeah,
Trying to pull up.
If Caruso plays, I feel way better about it. But if he doesn't, then of course I'm not going to feel as good. But I think this is a get up spot for the Bulls, who really need a quality win. Like, they really need that wake up and hey, because last 5 games, lost to the Lakers, you beat Portland, you lost to Toronto, you beat Charlotte, you lost to Sacramento. Like, nothing there feels good. It's actually this on again, off again, and winning, losing games, and not really being able to find a rhythm. I'll just say they find a rhythm this game. So I'll take Chicago. Kind of a gut call, to be honest, but Chicago plus 5.5. Minnesota team total under. I think Minnesota's going to struggle to score today.
So the Chicago Bulls defensive rating with Alex Caruso in 43 games this season, 115.6, and they're giving up around 110.7. Allowing teams to shoot 46.7%. And then without Alex Caruso, that defensive rating goes up to 120.9, allowing around 2.5 more points per game, 113.1. So definitely worse without, not significantly worse, but they are worse without their best defensive player, Alex Caruso. So Wolves is another team that, if you take a look at their home and road splits, like the Denver Nuggets, there's a night and day difference. So at home this season, Minnesota is 19-5 straight up, 13-10-1 against the spread. On the road this season, 16-10 straight up, but just 12-14 against the spread here as well. So I'll lean with the home dog here as well. I like taking those home dogs here. But again, this is another game where I think I like the under in this game, like you mentioned. Yeah, I think that Chicago will struggle to score because, like you said, Minnesota is one of the better defenses this season. And I think this is going to be a game where, taking a look at pace, like, these aren't the fastest teams either. Chicago is below league average when it comes to pace. Minnesota is bottom 5 as well. So I will look towards the under 216.5 in this game. Player props, what are you looking at?
All right. If Minnesota loses, I got to think that Ant's not going to have a good day. I like Vucevic, though. I saw somebody, I think Adam, said something about Vucevic in the chat. Yeah, I do like Vucevic today. I think Vucevic has the arsenal where he can kind of fuck with Rudy Gobert a little bit. Adam's talking about him being able to stretch the floor, pull Rudy Gobert out of the paint. Yeah, Vucevic might hit a few threes today. I also think that just offensively, Rudy Gobert is more of a guy that, hey, I'm looking for these smaller guards. I'm looking for these other guys kind of drive down into the lane. But when you give somebody that is comparable to him in size and that has an offensive bag around the rim that they can post up, they can give you a hook shot, they can do all this stuff. Vucevic has been able to do that. So I'm going to take Vucevic points over. I think that he's going to have a pretty solid game today. And that threes, I may be interested in threes because Adam makes a good point about him being able to stretch the floor. So if he gets going from outside from 3, then it's going to be a good day.
Let's see what his 3-point prop is. If it's 1.5, which it more than likely will be. Let's see here. Oh, his half is at minus 215 for Nikola Vucevic to make one. But I'll say this.
Su's got to be like plus 150 or something like that.
Yeah, he's hit at least 2 3-pointers against the Timberwolves in 5 straight games. Has Nikola Vucevic. I will mention this because I'm not going to be betting it because this player is my kryptonite. I know Zion is one of your guys, but Rudy Gobert rebounds against the Bulls has been really good. Last 3 games, 13 rebounds, 19 rebounds, 20 rebounds, and 19 rebounds for Rudy Gobert against the Bulls. Again, I'm not betting it because when I do bet it, he's probably going to end up with 5 rebounds, but I'll throw that number out there for you guys that he's done a really good job of rebounding the basketball against the Chicago Bulls. There's one more I was looking at, completely just went over my head, but yeah, I can't think of it right now. All right. Anything else for this game?
Nope, I'm good. So,
all right, let's get over to the last game of the night, I believe. Here we got the Oklahoma City Thunder.
no, we got 2 more.
Oh, we got my bad. I forgot to do the banner on that. Oh yeah, we got Bucks and Suns. I forgot to do that. All right, let's get over to the Thunder. They are in Utah here tonight, Salt Lake City, to take on the Jazz. Currently, as it stands, the Thunder are a 3-point road favorite here with a total of 240 in this game. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, let's start here with the OKC Thunder. They will be without Isaiah Joe in this game and guys that are questionable. It's a pretty long list. So both Jalen Williams are questionable here today. Kaysen Wallace is also questionable for this game, and Lindy Waters III is also questionable for this game. So keep that in mind. So the significant pieces, I guess I should say, is Isaiah Joe out, and then both Jalen Williams are questionable. For the Utah Jazz, pretty clean injury report. Everybody that's on there is either on G League assignment or a 2-way contract. So this team is a full go, are the Utah Jazz. Jazz catching 3 points here, Terrell, against the Oklahoma City Thunder, which I believe this is the 3rd matchup between these 2 teams this season. But let me pull those numbers up while you give your handicap.
Yeah, no, it is the 3rd matchup. OKC leads the series 2-0 now. They got 134-120 win in OKC, and then a 134 and 129 win in Utah. And so they were able to go out there and handle business, get the dub both of those 2 games. And I basically expect this game to go. I'm trying to figure out why the total's at 240.5 and going down. And I assume that it's going to be because OKC is playing a lot better defensively than they were playing in those matchups. You look at OKC, the past 3 games defensively, they're giving up 111 points per game. That is right outside the top 10, 11th in the NBA during that past 3 game span. They're starting to figure things out a little bit more. They're getting healthier again, getting some of their guys back. And I think that this is an opportunity where we might need to take a rare Utah under here, with just me thinking that this is going to be OKC just kind of cleaning the clock of Utah. And I understand it's hard for me to fade Utah as a dog, but it's hard for me to fade SGA and Shea as well. And I think that this just might be a matchup where OKC is just a better team. They had the more consistent offensive options. They're starting to find their rhythm defensively where they're not letting teams go out there and score 120 points per game. And if this Utah team isn't scoring 120 points, they're not really winning the game, to be honest. They're actually outside of the game. You look at what they did, 123-108 against Milwaukee, 127 and to 124 in a loss against Philadelphia, 118-103 loss to the New York Knicks, 114-147 loss to the Brooklyn Nets, and then you got a 134-122 win against the Charlotte Hornets in the past 3 games. It's like, you know, outside of that Philly game, really, like, if they're not scoring 120 points, they're not winning the game because they're giving up so much and they can't win a defensive game. So if I think that this OKC team, who's woken up defensively, being able to challenge this Utah team and make it tough on them, make them force them into bad shots and really drive that field goal percentage down, then I think that this OKC team is going to have enough to be able to cover 3. So I like OKC -3 on the road here. I am hesitant, but I have a lean to the under 240.5 here. I understand how the first 2 games went. I think the 3rd time is the charm. I'm going for the under in this game here.
Yeah, I initially like the over in this game, and now it's making me nervous that this number has fell about 3 points, 3.5 points since the opening number, because it was at 243 last night, down to 240. Um, you mentioned it, that defensively, that seems like OKC has been able to figure it out. They are number 9 in defensive rating over the last 5 games, where the Utah Jazz are the second worst defensive rated team over the last 5 games. They also have a negative net rating over the last 5 games of minus 5.1 for the Utah Jazz. And there's just sometimes that a team just has your number, and it just feels like this Thunder team, even if you want to go back prior to this season, that they've done really well against this Utah Jazz team. And um, so going back to the 2021 season, the Thunder against this Utah Jazz team, they are, let's see here, 8-1 against the spread. They're averaging close to 120 points per game against this Utah Jazz team. So I know there was a slump where the OKC Thunder, their offense was not what we're used to seeing. I know that last game went into double overtime against the Toronto Raptors, where the number may be a little inflated, but they were able against Charlotte. They were able to figure it out. And again, like I mentioned, this Jazz team, second worst defensive rated team over the last 5 games. So I think they should have some success on the offensive side here. And like you mentioned, led by SGA in this game. So I like the Thunder team total over in this game, leaning towards the Thunder side here as well. Player props, what are you looking at here, Terrell?
Shea. Trusting Shea. Trust Shea. Hey, J-Dub's back in the lineup. I'm taking J-Dub again, man. Hopefully the injury thing didn't really too much rust, but if J-Dub's back in the lineup, I'm taking J-Dub again. He's been really, really good. And I just feel like they're going to disrespect his line at 17.5 or something like that. And he's a 20-point per game scorer at this point.
Let's see. I don't see Jalen Williams listed just yet. SGA is at 32.5. But I think that if you do like SGA, wait for that Jalen Williams news, that if he does get ruled in, Shea's points probably will drop a little bit. I think something similar to what we saw yesterday, where Maxey, I believe, was at 29.5. And then once Tobias got ruled in, he dropped to 27.5. But quickly, over the last 6 games for SGA against the Jazz, points wise, 33, 39, 38, 22, 30, and 31. So he's almost pretty much walking into 30 points against his Utah Jazz team. Right now it's at 32.5, minus 130 currently over our friends over on DraftKings Sportsbook.
I think I like Chet over 2.5 blocks as well. Not sold there, but I think.
See what he's done against the Jazz this season. 16 points, 15 points, and then 2 blocks and 4 blocks in the 2 games this season against the Utah Jazz. I want to see how Laurie has done. I feel like either his rebounds are something that intrigues me, or his points and rebounds to go over. So this season, 3 straight games he's had a double-double against his Thunder team. Dating back to last season, 43-10, 20-10 this season, and then 26-10. So if you want to get on his rebounds here tonight, or just play his double-double, I think that's a good look here as well for Laurie.
Josh Giddey. Are we backing Josh Giddey in the house that Karl Malone built again? He almost had that triple-double the last time, man. Hey, man, he really almost gave the triple-double. I might have to bet Josh Giddey today. Freaking creep.
So, another player.
He had 20, 10, and 6. And Karl
Malone, he's had a double-double 1, 2, 3, 4 games.
Disgusting little creature.
What's his double-double?
I remember it was like 7-1 that game.
Damn.
I know. I was staring at it. Josh Giddey's double-double is at Giddey. What? They don't have Giddey listed.
Yeah, I don't see it listed.
What? That's
maybe
weird.
Something that should build.
Oh, now we absolutely have to play that today.
Yeah, let's just build it here real quick before we get to the last game. Let's see here. Same game parlay. All right. So Giddey points. Where's Josh Giddey? Golly, they don't have. All right, I'll try to do this when we do our lock and dog, but I don't even see his points listed to build. All right. Anyways, anything else for this game?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, last game of the night. probably the game of the night here. These last two games are going to be fun to watch, so hopefully you guys stay up late. We've got the Milwaukee Bucks. They are in Phoenix here tonight to take on the Suns. Suns are currently
a 2021 finals rematch.
Yes, the rematch of the finals from a few seasons ago. Right now, the Suns are a 3.5-point home favorite in this game with a total of 243.5. Looking at the injury report, let's start here with the Milwaukee Bucks. Guys that are questionable, Dame and Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is personal reasons, and Damian Lillard is dealing with a left ankle sprain. Andre Jackson Jr. is probable, and Giannis is probable for this game here as well. For the Phoenix Suns, clean injury report. Bradley Beal is available. Only player on their injury report listed is Damian Lee, who is recovering from right meniscus surgery. So pretty healthy squads here for the rematch between these two teams. So I'll start with the side. Suns laying 3.5 points against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Do we just keep fading out? Is that where this is at? Where we just kind of just, I mean, they've been better defensively. You didn't give them that much, but like, I saw the fourth quarter of the Jazz game. I don't know if you saw the fourth quarter of the Jazz game, but like, it turned out exactly how a Doc Rivers game would turn out. And so the question is here: are you fading Doc? Or, like, is this really just a fade of Doc? And that there's no way he has his team ready right now.
Yeah, I think they're kind of going through that adjustment period of Doc Rivers, quote unquote, implementing his offensive and defensive, strategies or game plan, whatever you want to call it. But the Bucks in their last 10 road games, Terrell, 1-9 against the spread.
I'm taking Phoenix. I just don't trust. They've been better defensively, but I think everything betters with Phoenix right now. I think Phoenix is playing better basketball right now. Like I understand why they're laying 3.5. Yeah, and so I think that they have so many offensive weapons in the starting lineup, not really the bench, but in the starting lineup where it can actually really, really mess with Milwaukee a bunch. And so I'm sitting here. Phoenix 3-2 their last 5 games. That lost to Atlanta and that lost in Orlando. Coming back home from a road trip, pretty long road trip here for Milwaukee. This is the 5th game. They went to Denver, went to Portland, went to Dallas, went to Utah. Now you're down in Phoenix for this 5th game. I think it's just a kind of a tired spot, and they really haven't found any. You got 3 of the 4 losses. Yeah, 3. You lost 3 or 4. During this trip, you lost 3 or 4. The only win that you got was in Dallas, and Dallas blew that game to you in the 4th quarter, like you just went and blew to Utah. So I can't get 4 quarters of good basketball from you. Yeah, I'm just going to take Phoenix.
Yeah, I think that the reason I did fade the Mavericks on Saturday, and I did play the Bucks in that game, which me and Scott talked about yesterday, that they were down by 25 points after that first quarter, and they found their way to come back because they were playing against a bad defense. But this squad for this Phoenix Suns seemed like they're healthy. They're starting to click on all cylinders. They're number 4 in offensive rating over the last 5 games. Milwaukee's up there too at number 10, but defensively, like you mentioned, they've improved as well. They're creeping up into that top 10. Top 10 best defensive rated teams over the last 5 games. I said, well, they're just right there at number 11, and they have a plus 7.5 rating over the last 5 games as well. So I think for the Bucks, I mean, like you mentioned, like it's Doc Rivers in the 4th quarter. He's still probably trying to figure out his rotations and how he wants to play some of these guys and the minutes allocations and things like that for guys like Giannis and things like that as well. So I think I'm on the Phoenix side here as well. I think I like the Phoenix Suns team total over in this game here as well. But what are your thoughts on the total at 243.5?
Yeah, let's go over.
All right.
Are we done? No, what are the odds that Giannis and KD go up against each other and we get exactly what we think we're going to get? It never happens like that. It never happens. Whenever we get the marquee game, we never get. Give me the under.
Okay.
That call. Give me the under.
All right.
This isn't gonna be as good as we want it to be.
The Bucks, yeah, they trend towards the under in their road games, and I think let me go back here. So 1, 2, 3, 8 of their last 10 road games have gone under the total as well for the Milwaukee Bucks. So keep that in mind if you're betting the total in this game. Player props, what are we looking at?
All right. I think I like Giannis rebounds.
Okay.
Today. I think that this is a game where Giannis is pretty active and he's running around the court 24/7. So his rebounds prop is at 10.5. I think he should be able to get to 12. So I like that today. Do we go back to the Middleton under assist wagon?
Especially if Dame is questionable. So even if Dame doesn't play in this game, then that number is only going to go up. But he's at 8. It's like 8. Was it 5.5 right now? You said?
Yes, at 5.5 at even money, basically.
Yeah, he's at 8 assists exactly in 3 of the last 4 games.
Oh, this might be the time to get back on the wagon. I'm not going to do it, but I'm staring at it. I'm considering it. I'm not going to do it. I like Giannis though. Giannis on the boards, 100%.
Okay. Anything else for player props? I was looking at Devin Booker on his points prop here tonight, because if you want to play this backcourt of the Bucks that can't play a lot of defense,
I kind of want to play Beal's under after Washington, and just says he goes back to being Phoenix Bradley Beal. Like, this is just a pure fade of Bradley Beal. He goes out there, has an amazing game against Washington, has the revenge game of all revenge games. Honestly, truly, when we talk about revenge games, we should show Bradley Beal tape. That was the revenge game of all revenge games. 100%. That is the
hopefully
tape that
Kyrie's watching players. That today.
I doubt it. So I think it's only right that we play Beal under 19.5 today. Like, there's no shot. There's no shot that he gets going like that again. Anywhere close. He probably finishes with 15. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
And it's correlated, right? Because last game, Devin Booker, he only got up 11 shots, and they were deferring to
Bradley Beal because Bradley Beal was going.
Yeah. Even Kevin Durant, back in the city where he was born in DC. So Devin Booker to the back seat in that game. He only got up 11 shots. So I think
Devin Booker over back. And Bradley Beal under. That's how we play it.
All right. And then you mentioned Giannis's rebounds. Yeah, I definitely cannot argue against that either. Against the Suns in his career, last 2 games at least, he's had 13 rebounds, 11 rebounds. And again, if Brook Lopez he's questionable today with personal reasons. So that's another big man. They won't have rebounding here tonight as well. So do like that look. All right. Anything else for this game, Terrell?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. That was the last game on the Tuesday card here. Let's get into our lock and dog for this game, and then we'll put together our Underdog Fantasy entry here for tonight here. You want to lead us off?
All right. For my lock, I've been playing a lot of unders recently, Munaf. I've realized that. I've been on a lot of unders in the team totals recently. And it's kind of been backing 2 teams, Minnesota and Orlando. Oh, wait, no, Memphis too as well. I've really been Memphis and Orlando with a dash of Minnesota as well. Miami, Orlando, under 212. I'm going to go ahead and lock that in as my lock. I don't think either one of these 2 teams is going to even try offensively, but they're going to put all their effort on the defensive side of the basketball. I think this is going to be an ugly game. A lot of turnovers. Not expecting to see many fast break points, slow pace. Both teams struggle to get 100. So under 212. For my dog, is it Chicago? I think so. I think it's Chicago.
All right.
Oh man, is it really Chicago? I mean, they're so up and down. They continue to be up and down. They lose every other game, so they just had a loss. They're due for a win now. If we go by that mindset, they never really can get into a rhythm. And Alex Caruso could play it. If Alex Caruso plays, the defense is gonna go up tremendously. And if you're telling me that I'm gonna have a defensive struggle of a game and I have to bank on Minnesota scoring on the road, yeah, I'm fine fading that. Give him Chicago on the money line, plus 170. They get it done and knock off one of the top teams in the West.
All right. Give you a second here. Just responding to something. All right. Let's go. All right. For my lock, I think the Knicks just roll, man. It's a big number, but we spent a lot of time on that game talking about who's playing for this game and where they're coming from. But so there's two plays I like in this game. It's either the Knicks on the spread or it's either Josh Hart rebounds and assists to go over 13.5, or it's either Şengün's rebounds and or points and rebounds to go over. I really like Şengün here tonight as well. You know what? I'm going to go points and rebounds for Şengün. Yeah, over 32.5. I'll throw out a homer pick, but I just do think that he's an advantageous matchup here tonight against the Pacers in a game that total now is now up to 244 Terrell since we talked about it. So they're doing their books. There's money coming in on the over, and I think the books are expecting to see points in this game here as well. So I'll go Şengün points and rebounds over 32.5. For my dog, I really want to play the Nets, but
go for it.
Yeah, let's go Nets. Give me the money line for the Nets plus 130. I know Luka and Kyrie, one of the two at least will play in this game. Maybe Luka takes a night off here, but I think there's a spot on national TV as a home dog. I think the Brooklyn Nets do get up for this game. Relatively healthy squad for the Brooklyn Nets here as well. And I still don't trust the Dallas Mavericks defensively. I know last night they only held the Sixers to 203 points last night, but that was just a really bad shooting night. And Maxey was he was getting robbed in that game. He had 3 fouls in that first quarter for the Sixers in that game. And that kind of just disrupted their offense. But I think the Brooklyn Nets, whether it's Mikal Bridges, Ben Simmons is playing tonight as well. I didn't see him on the injury report, if I'm not mistaken. So, hey, man, he's been doing pretty well in the limited minutes that he's been. Yeah, he's been doing pretty well. So, yeah, give me the Brooklyn Nets plus 130 on the money line as my dog here for tonight. Kind of on brand with SGPN fading Dallas teams, at least in the NBA side for the Mavericks. So I'll do that. All right, Terrell, we got some beef, man. We had the contest that we were running for the underdog within the network. You want to take a guess on how many signups we got with our underdog promo code from our listeners and fans?
0.
You are correct. So I'm a little bit bitter. So I'm gonna give you the stage here and call out our they just don't like us. I don't know. Well, I guess since we're nice guys, we'll still put together an entry here. But if you haven't already signed up, make sure you use that promo code NBASGPN. You get your first deposit bonus of up to $100. And right now, this is a good time to get in. I'll tell you why. Because Underdog is giving away $1 million in Underdog Fantasy credits or money, whatever you want to call it, on Super Bowl Sunday. So you could probably get a piece of some of that money that they're going to be throwing out there for Super Bowl Sunday. So now is the time that you probably want to sign up. Use that promo code NBASGPN. You'll get an additional $100, up to $100. To use that promo code, and who knows, you may be one of the lucky ones to get some money from Underdog Fantasy on Super Bowl Sunday. All right, where do we want to start here?
So I've actually kind of crafted our lineup already.
All right, there we go. Go ahead.
We have your Alfred Şengün play 32.5 points and rebounds higher.
Okay.
We have Devin Booker higher 28.5 points.
Okay.
And then I went ahead and added Chet Holmgren higher 2.5 blocks. You said he had 4 and 2 in the previous 2 games prior against the Utah. And I think Utah with Colin Sexton, with John Collins, with Jordan Clarkson, you see Keontae George, like you see the theme that we're going here. A bunch of people that like to drive and score inside of the paint. I think Chet's going to have opportunity to get blocks today. So 2.5 blocks, I feel good for Chet today. Higher.
All right, there we go. So Terrell making it easy for me at least. All right, we'll go Şengün higher, 32.5 points and rebounds. Devin Booker higher, 28.5 points. And Chet Holmgren higher, 2.5 blocks. That $20 entry going 3 for 3 will get you a return of $120 currently over on Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Get us on the board. Someone get us on the board at least. Sign up. If you already have signed up, grab your significant other, uncle, aunt, cousin, sister, brother, coworker, whoever the case might be. Just make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Yesterday I mentioned before we wrap up here that we are ever so close, Terrell, to 2,000 subscribers.
Oh,
you want to take a guess on how many we need to get 2,000 as it stands right now?
what? We're that close? I feel like I looked the other day and we were at like 56. Like, yeah, I think we were at 1,560 or something like that. I feel like that's the last thing I saw. So where are we at?
We need 1 subscription to the
What?
NBA Gambling
No
Podcast
way.
YouTube channel.
No way.
1,999 is what I am looking at right now.
I'm about to go get us 1 subscriber right now.
1 subscription away from hitting 2,000. Let me just refresh.
Hey, bro, go subscribe to my podcast, NBA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. I need 1 more for 2,000.
Look, there it is, 2,000. We just hit it live.
There we go. See, look,
NBA Gambling.
They thought
Podcast.
I was yelling to somebody on the other side of the door. I was actually yelling at our listeners now because I knew 1 person that was listening was not subscribed. Appreciate y'all.
X Silent Rain says I was 99 and somebody was number 2,000. Yeah. So appreciate you guys. 2,000 subscribers for the NBA Gambling Podcast YouTube channel. But hey, we're still on audio form. Don't forget the podcast. If you are listening to this on Apple or Spotify, make sure you subscribe to the feed as well. Leave us a rating and review if you haven't done so already. But again, appreciate everybody that now has subscribed to the NBA Gambling Podcast YouTube channel. 2,000 subscribers for us. Troy, anything else you want to mention before we get out of here?
Nope. Let's go.
All right. Make sure to follow Terrell on Instagram and on X at reallyreal__. Follow me there at SportsNerd824. Terrell and Scott will be back tomorrow for the Wednesday card. Till then, good luck with your bets here tonight. Let's break these books off and let it ride.